Benjamin Franklin once said, "Those who give up their freedom for safety deserve neither." Fascism is here, my friends. Fascism is here. In case you didn't know, I'm letting you know. It was here, I guess, January 20th, 2025, but it officially arrived, I would say, when National Guard troops started showing up in Los Angeles. And now they're showing up in Washington, D.C. Slowly but surely, Donald Trump is pushing his way through our democracy and all over willing or unwilling participants. It's time to take a stand, folks. If not now, then when? If not us, then who? There's a lot of stuff we have to go over. There are things that we have to discuss in depth, and some not so in depth. But anyway, I'm ready to get into it. I hope you are. Let's go. Story time. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad. Happy Friday, guys. Happy Friday indeed. Despite the fact that we have the world's biggest fan and the world's largest amount of shit constantly hitting that fan, it is still a happy Friday because you guys are here with me. I am here with you. We have pizza on the way. Well, not on the way, but pizza will be happening. You guys know I love my cook at home frozen pizza with little turkey pepperoni slices on it, with my buffalo wings. If I ever had to choose a last meal, for whatever reason, don't get into why I'm having a last meal. Just focus on last meal. Last meal would be pizza and buffalo wings and root beer. Probably some type of ice cream for dessert. I would probably fill out that menu eventually with other things that I like I don't know, stuffing, macaroni salad, macaroni and cheese. I like macaroni. Yeah, I might have other things around that last meal plate, and I would take my sweet ass time because it's the last meal. You might as well. Anyway, so I have gotten myself a nice little shave today. I hope you guys enjoy that. There's a reason for that, and I will tell you why. But first, let me speak to who's first, and that's Meredith Powell at the top. Whoa, she says, "Hey, I'm first." Followed by our friend Zelda. There she is, Zelda. Welcome. Of course, doing my song. Valerie G is here. Joanne Kennedy. Lori B. Fox Hill Dreams. Shelby is here. I saw somebody make a comment recently about Bernadette H is here. Stella Baxter. Somebody was like, I'm glad I moved to a Watcher Soko is here. Glad I moved to a blue uh sanctuary state. Hey, Diane London is here. There she is, my friend. Good to see you, Diane. There she is. Cindy C is here. Asmila J waiting on the Trump Putin conference or whatever they're calling it. This is not cool without Zelensky being there. Cosign. Absolutely. 100% agree. Tina Bradford is here. Meredith Bauer said, and now he's sucking Putin's vodka rod. Disgusting. There. Watchwinder. That's a new one. This is why I'm so thankful I moved my city to the safety of a blue sanctuary city where we have gun-free zones and no-cost abortion clinics. It's all about the children. I got reason for you to maybe not be so, not feel so secure in the fact that you are in a sanctuary city, because that is the kind of city that Donald Trump is targeting, not out of care for safety, but because he's petty and small, and if it's anything he can do to attack liberals, to attack progressives, he's going to do it. Whether it solves a problem or not, he's going to do it. Eddie G says, you mean to tell me that I'm here on time now? There she goes. Excuse me. Mary Margaret Rachel is here. Sorry for the coughing, you guys. I'm a little bit under the weather today, this week. This is fourth day. I started coming down with something around Monday. I think I'm on my way out of it. Monique Lee, hello, my friend. Okay. Guys, I think it's time for me to go ahead and jump into Samantha Hawkins. I see you there. Time for me to jump into our stories of the day.
Stories of the day.
Okay, stories of the day. And right there at the top, Putin rides Trump. Newsom meets fire with fire. I was trying to think of a way to describe what had transpired at the airport where Putin hopped into the beast with Trump. It's a highly unusual thing to occur. Hasn't never happened, but I don't think it's ever happened with a murderous dictator from Russia. I'm sure that has never happened. Very weird shit. So we are going to get into this very touchy-feely thing. He couldn't keep his hands off of Putin. Putin, so good to have you here, boss. I'm so happy. Putin lets Trump touch his hand more than Melania lets him touch her hand. That's a fun fact. And then in Washington, D.C. is the second blue. It's not a state. It is a city that wants statehood, but is facing an uphill battle of getting statehood. And this is a perfect reason to underscore why they should have statehood, so that they can't just, a sovereign state can't just be invaded by a tyrannical president. And Gavin Newsom, you know what? I like this guy. I like him a lot. He's funny. He's feisty. He's smart. He is like the exact opposite of Trump in most areas. I'm not going to say he's a white Obama. I'm not saying that. It's not a white Obama. He's his own guy. He's Gavin Newsom. He's not perfect. He's got some issues, but I like the fight that I'm seeing from this guy, and I like how he's doing it. And we're going to get into that. I'm very excited about getting into that. But before we get into that, let's get into this. If it's your first time here, make sure you hit that like button. It looks like this, the thumbs up there. Hit that like button. Also, please hit the subscribe button, which is right there in the lower right corner of the screen. Thank you very much. Now, as for this special um, haircut and beard tightening, this is because this Sunday I will be celebrating my 22nd year clean and sober. It's a very big deal for me. It's a significant moment in my own personal history. Um, most of you already know my story. The things that I've been through. I've been through homelessness, and I've been, you know, uh, desperate. I've been hopeless. I've been at that crossroads where I questioned, what is even the point? What is the point of trying again? Because I had already tried and failed to get sober 8 times, at least 8 or 9 times, a lot of times. One time I was even in a 18 to 24 month program called Phoenix House. I was there actually for 29 months. And that first time I was there, it was just for weed. I was a teenager. I was 17 when I checked in there. And was there for 29 months, graduated, and 2 years later, after I graduated, I tried crack for the first time, despite hearing crazy stories from my fellow residents at Phoenix House telling me, they were running down the street with their mother's TV, and suddenly I found myself doing the same thing. And it got so much worse. So much worse. So 22 years after struggling to even put 22 weeks or 22 days together, 22 years is just phenomenal. It's like a whole lifetime. And a lot of people know about some of my lowest points in life because I did share them, and then they twist them and they turn them into this nasty, stupid attack, whatever. I was open about my sobriety, my struggles with addiction, because I wanted to be able to reach people who were at that inflection point, at that point where you could either decide to, step out on faith and try to get your life on the right track, or you could just continue to spiral into a complete and total self-destruction. You feel sorry for yourself, and you drown your miseries, and I don't even want to think about what could have happened. I would have missed so much from my kids. I got to see all 3 of my kids, my sons, graduate. I got to meet the love of my life, my wife, and her 2 kids, now our 2 kids. Uh, you know, one of my sons is a scientist, for crying out loud. It's amazing. And I helped put them through college. So 22 years of being not only sober, but dealing with life, dealing with life's challenges, dealing with, crises. Anytime something pops up, when you're an addict, your first instinct is to reach for a drink, reach for a drug. But when you're sober, you have to like process what's happening and say, okay, whoa. All right. Let's not go crazy here. Let's just deal with this. So anyway, 22 years, it's a big deal for me, and I thank you for letting me share that with you. I'm putting this here because it's important for us not to forget that Donald Trump is currently protecting a pedophile, not Jeffrey Epstein, because he is no longer amongst the living. It is Ghislaine Maxwell, whom he is protecting, who he has paved the way for her to have a nice, time in a low security, minimum security jail that she's not even entitled to. The one that she got to go to is considered like one of the best jails if you want to have like a chill time in prison. It's considered one of the best. And because of the nature of her convictions, she's supposed to get extra, permissions, and those were waived for her after she had a talk with Donald Trump's former personal attorney, now deputy attorney general Todd Blanche. So we got Meredith Powell saying he'll pardon her. Bernadette saying he's buying her silence. I agree with the both of you. I do indeed agree with you too. So again, before I move on from this, he has managed to fill his dance card with a whole lot of activity, which is what he should have been doing, right? When he shouldn't have been messing around and playing golf and trolling blue states and doing all this nonsense. Do your fucking job. Stop being a jackass. And part of your job, whether you like it or not, you made a promise to the people who voted for you. I didn't vote for you. You didn't make me that promise, but you made it to MAGA. And they see what you're doing right now, Trump. They see it. And they're not happy. You might think that they're dumb. And you know what? Granted, a lot of them are. But a lot of them aren't. And the more distractions you throw out there, you think they're going to forget. Oh, let's just go after Obama. Let's go after Hillary. Oh, let's throw some tanks in these blue cities. They're not going to forget. And we are not going to let them forget, just so you know. Now, something else that I don't forget is the embarrassment, the total humiliation that Donald Trump heaped upon America at the Helsinki Trump-Putin conference during his first term. I believe that was 2018. Correct me if I'm wrong. It might have been 2019. I think it was 2018, in which Donald Trump disappeared into a room with just Putin. Nobody else. I think there might have been a translator. I think he might have needed a translator, but that was it. And he came out looking like Putin just showed him some devastating videotapes of his like worst moments in life. Yeah, maybe the greatest hits from the Jeffrey Epstein collection, perhaps. Spitballing here. And what was even worse was the words that came out of his mouth after this picture was taken, in which he said that he didn't see any reason to doubt Putin and Putin's Russian intelligence over our own intel agencies, out of our own, the United States of America, American intelligence agencies, he was siding with Russia. Abysmal. And that's been Putin, that's been the Putin puppets, that's been Trump's posture consistently throughout. The only person he says less antagonizing, less aggressive, less mean things about than Putin is Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Those are the only three people who have an exemption from being ridiculed, mocked, bullied. Those are the only three people. That's crazy. It's crazy when you think about it. Think about all the people that Donald Trump has abused, has insulted. Think about it. And then think about what insult has he said about Ghislaine Maxwell, someone accused of and convicted, not just accused. Zelda, my friend, thank you so much. Thank you, Zelda. You are wonderful, my friend. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate you so much here. It's insane. He insults everybody, Democrat and Republican, man and woman, mostly women of color. He likes to attack, but he attacks white guys too. Democrats loves to attack, et cetera, et cetera. And then if you're a Republican and you burn him and you call him a fucking idiot after you leave his administration, like Rex Tillerson did, then he brings out the smoke for you. But excuse me. Anyway, here's a perfect contrast. He had a love fest with Vladimir Putin, but let me refresh your memory and let's take you back to a few months ago when Donald Trump hosted President Zelensky at the White House, and he launched a sneak attack, an ambush on President Zelensky. This was disgusting.
About the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come to the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of you.
Let me just stop right here. Whenever somebody says with respect, you can almost guarantee that the words that are following are anything but respectful. It's such a ridiculous it's such a ridiculous statement to make. With respect, go fuck yourself. There's no respect there. You might as well say go fuck yourself.
The American media right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to
count once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring.
I'm sorry. I love how President Zelensky says that. Have you ever been to Ukraine? He's like, actually, I've watched a documentary about it.
Bring people, you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems? Bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful
to
come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You
God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that. Remember this.
I'm not
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
not playing
cards.
cards.
But right now, you
I'm
don't. Yeah,
very
you're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're gambling
I'm
with the
president
lives of
anymore.
millions of people.
You think
You're gambling with World War III.
What you're
You're
speaking
gambling
about?
with
What are you
World
speaking
War
about?
III. And
You-
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country.
I'm
It's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
I'm very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once?
A lot of times.
No, in this
Even
entire
to
meeting.
Oh my God. Every time I hear him say, have you said thank you once? I want to throw a brick through the internet into the past. So mad.
You said thank
Even
you.
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
So gross, so disrespectful. He's calling Zelensky disrespectful, but he's the host, right? That's rude as hell. That's rude as hell. And Zelda points out makes a very good point. President Biden actually went to Ukraine. He went to Ukraine. Donald Trump, meanwhile, could have had this session in private, right? But no, he chose to have it in public. He chose to humiliate President Zelensky. That is despicable because you will never, ever see Donald Trump act like that towards Vladimir Putin, who, as I said earlier, he can't seem to keep his hands off of Putin. He's touchy. He's feely. He's ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ooh, all the time, touching. And, he fears Vladimir Putin. And as well he should. He says, oh, we have a good friendship. That's not a friendship. Then make no mistake. Those two are not friends. Donald Trump is an employee of Vladimir Putin. He might not have official paychecks written out to him. He probably doesn't have to even work he probably doesn't even work for money. He works for the right to stay alive and to not have his worst secrets revealed. Anyway, they're meeting in Alaska right now over the Ukraine war, which is ludicrous because the main one of the main people in that Ukraine war, President Zelensky, is not there. How are you negotiating? In fact, Donald Trump started off by saying there's going to be some land swaps. What? There are Ukrainians dying. Vladimir Putin bombed civilians as recently as last night, the night before he was to meet with Trump. He's like, yeah, here's some more for your ass. Boom. To show how unserious he is about peace. And why should he be serious about peace? Because Donald Trump has basically given him everything he wants. He makes all these concessions, doesn't impose any restrictions on Putin, no penalties on Putin. Does what he wants, when he wants, how he wants. That's it. So I think this is supposed to be a 3-on-3, meaning it won't be Trump alone with Putin. It'll be Trump and probably two other guys, Marco Rubio, and who knows who the third person is. If anybody else knows, I don't even care. But President Zelensky should be there because he's a person who has skin in the game, who has everything to lose from this agreement. And Vladimir Putin, if I were him, why would I give up anything to Donald Trump, who's giving so much energy that he wants to be Putin's little sidekick. All right. Excuse me. Let's get into this next topic here. Crime in Washington, D.C., according to the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police has dropped. Violent crime is down 30. Wait, is at a 30-year low. And there's a chart here that most people won't see. Hey there, Simon Metcalf. I see you, my friend. Most people won't see this chart, but it shows you 28% down robbery, 20% assault with a dangerous weapon, 12% homicide, 49% sex abuse, all the relevant categories, I guess, except for motor vehicle theft is at a zero. There's no change there. Categories have most of them have gone down. Now, can any of you recall a time when you turned on the local news, not cable news, not MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, local news? That would be at 6 p.m. and 11 p.m. or 5 and 10. Can you remember a time turning on the news and they didn't say so-and-so on this avenue was just robbed, this house over here burnt down, this woman was sexually assaulted, this family of 4 was found murdered? There's never one day that goes by that you don't get those reports. You will never turn on the news and they'll say, you know what, Jim, looks like we don't have anything to report. There are no negative stories whatsoever. Nobody's been killed in a very long time. No one has been robbed. Crime is non-existent. You will never see it. That will never happen. Crime has been going on since I was a wee child, and it will be going on long past my demise. So why do I bring this up? I bring this up because crime is being used as the pretext for invading Washington, D.C. with the National Guard. Crime. And you will see Fox News people saying, oh my goodness, Democrats are saying that the crime is down, but that's not right because, oh my God, this dude, Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, the other day, ridiculous, said, I can't even buckle myself in. I can't buckle my seatbelt because I'm afraid I might have to get out quickly if I'm carjacked. Really, dude? Really? Can you show your face back at home after a comment like that? You little snowflake? You little fragile one? Can you? It's all performative. It's all bullshit. Donald Trump has a tendency to of misusing our military, and it's so obscene that it's him that's doing it. Mr. 5 or 6 time draft dodging Bone Spurs, whether he's using them for a photo op or whether he's having a military parade for his birthday. Now he's got, Humvees and armored vehicles rolling through Washington, D.C. for what? What are you stopping some jaywalkers? And this is supposed to be a 30-day engagement, after which they will either extend it indefinitely, right? Because at the end of 30 days, they're going to say, well, this has had a positive guarantee. This has had a positive effect on crime. Crime has stopped almost completely. We didn't catch all of it, but most crime is gone. So we'll just stay embedded here in this city. We'll occupy it, and we'll roll this out to other blue cities, not red cities, mind you, even though there are plenty of red cities and red states where murder is up and violent crime is up and theft is up and robberies and all that shit. There's plenty of them. But there's plenty of them that's chock full of Second Amendment people. I guess they don't live in the blue states, right? Because those Second Amendment people were telling us this whole time, when we were saying we need to get those assault weapons off the street, they were like, you're not taking my assault weapon. I need it in case we got a tyrannical government coming in to take my guns and take stuff, take my freedoms away. Well, now you have a tyrannical government coming in, taking your freedoms away. Where are you now, Second Amendment people? Crickets. But what you're not hearing crickets from are the people. The people are getting mad. Democrats, independents, and yes, even some Republicans. I've seen plenty of videos, not enough to say that it's like a tidal wave or something, but these things tend to start snowballing quickly. Republicans who found out that Trump was lying either about the Epstein thing. This Epstein thing is not insignificant. It has shaken the confidence with which people used to defend Donald Trump. They used to defend him with their whole chest. They would say, Donald Trump is the best president ever. He's going to take down the deep state and tackle the job. That Epstein thing has shaken a lot of people. And now, on top of that, you got inflation, you got people, farms and construction businesses are losing money and losing appointments and losing gigs because they can't find workers. Their own regular workers are too scared to show up for work. They're afraid they are going to be arrested and deported. So, thank you, Watch Soko. I can't understand it. I don't feel like I'm on a roll. I just, I'm still sick, actually, but I'm feeling better today. Excuse me. So let's talk about this fight, right? So a few weeks back, Democrats in Texas, they got up and they left. They left the state. Some of them went to Illinois. Some of them went to New York. And they were the reason they left was because Greg Abbott got a call from Donald Trump saying, I just need you to find me 5 more seats in the House of Representatives for Republicans. 5 more. Which is 5 more than we have. Same thing he did with that 11,780 votes that he needed from Georgia. This time he called Wheels. Greg Abbott. He called Greg Abbott, and Greg Abbott was too happy to comply instead of focusing his time and energy on his residents who were still suffering greatly from a once-in-a-century flood that just hit them recently. He decided to play politics and do some redistricting bullshit that states usually do right after the census at the beginning of the decade. They don't do it in the middle of the decade because that would be cheating. Cheating. And yeah, I know the official word for it is gerrymandering, right? But we don't want to use complicated words if we don't have to. We need to make this plain. And I need you guys to tell your friends and tell your family that we need to break shit down to like the lowest common denominator going forward. Going forward, one of the problems that the Democratic Party has had, and liberals and progressives, whatever, is that the shit that we say takes too long to explain. And it's not easily accessible to the guy on the street. I, luckily, am a guy on the street. I'm not on the street now, but I do have that guy on the street energy. Not overly smart, kinda, but anyway, we need to break things down and make them easily understandable. So yeah, Greg Abbott is cheating. And why is he cheating? Because Donald Trump is afraid that he will lose seats from Texas because of his big, beautiful bill. What? Why would he be afraid of losing seats from his big, beautiful bill if it's so big and so beautiful? Well, because it is neither. It is a disaster. It is a disaster. And so now he's cheating. And Texas Democrats were like, nah, we're out. But now they're on their way back. They are heading back because at the end of the day, which I don't agree with, but, you know, I'm sure they have some kind of strategy or reasoning behind this. I don't like the fact that they're going back, but every day they're out. I think they're accruing $500 daily fines for being away. That shit is going to add up a lot. And at the end of the day, they can't stop it. You know, they can't stop what Greg Abbott is trying to do. However, this guy can. That's right. Well, he can't stop it. Gavin Newsom cannot stop Greg Abbott from blowing up our politics, right? This is a bad situation, folks. This is like a bad situation about to get worse, and there's no way to dress it up, you know. And I'm sick and tired of hearing these news commentators say, "Oh, you know, aren't Democrats afraid that, you know, voters are going to be like, are they afraid of alienating voters by doing the same things the Republicans are doing?" No, you assholes just spent the past 6 months talking about how low Democrats' approval ratings are. Not a day goes by when I don't hear one of them say Democrats' approval ratings are in the toilet at 19% every day. Democratic voters are wondering, when are Democrats going to fight? And now when they finally decide to fight, these jackasses on TV are like, I don't know if Democratic politicians should do this because that's not right. You guys try to be fucking crazy. But Gavin Newsom has the right idea, man. I love what he is doing right now. He is tweaking and needling Donald Trump with his own bullshit. Case in point. This is a tweet from Governor Newsom's press office. Donald Taco Trump, as many call him, all caps. It's in all caps and written in Donald Trump speak. Donald Taco Trump, as many call him, missed, quote unquote, missed the deadline. California will now draw new, more beautiful maps. They will be historic as they will end the Trump presidency. Dems take back the House. Big press conference this week with powerful Dems and Gavin Newsom, your favorite governor. That will be devastating for MAGA. Thank you for your attention to this matter, GN. Excuse me. I love it. It's so great. It's so great. Here's another one. Donald Trump, the lowest polling president in recent history. This is your second to last warning. The next one is the last one. Stand down now, or California will counterstrike legally to destroy your illegal crooked maps in red states. Press conference coming, hosted by America's favorite governor, Gavin Newsom. Final warning next. You won't like it. Thank you for your attention to this matter. That dude is doing it right. I love it. I absolutely love it. It is time. I wish we had started doing this thing earlier, because that's right. Because what is the response from Republicans? What's it going to be? Oh, he's copying Donald Trump's style. No, he's mocking Donald Trump's style. Oh, that's unbecoming for a governor. Really? But it's becoming for a president? You have to put their insanity right in their face and show them their own hypocrisy. Here's Chris Cuomo. What the hell happened to Chris Cuomo? He's so disappointing. I used to like him. Now I just think he's a joke. He's a clown. Here he is, quote tweeting Governor Newsom's tweet. Clearly didn't get it. It went over his head. He says, all caps does not make a post more impressive. Being willing to defend what you put out on this dumpster fire site does. Dude. And that tweet is still there. It's still there. It's still being ratioed. Boy, dude, what the fuck happened to you? Anyway, what Governor Newsom has said in a excellent speech yesterday, which his speech, his speech was attended by supporters, but also outside his speech, there were jackbooted, masked, and armed ICE thugs outside his speech arena. Like, you don't think the governor has his own security? Trump actually sent these people to be posted outside where he's having a speech. That's fascism right in your face. That's it right there. There's no need for that. There's no need for any of this shit, really. Donald Trump is creating solutions in search of problems, right? And these are all distractions to keep people talking about, because for the past 3 or 4 days, that's all people were talking about was Washington, D.C. Occupation. And they were talking less and less about the Epstein files. I think we should double our efforts and see to it that the Epstein files get back into the conversation. So anyway, this fight, Gavin Newsom says we have to meet fire with fire. And I'm all for it. That means that we Democrats have to understand that it's going to get messy, right? And we can't expect our elected leaders to be perfect. They're going to fuck up sometimes. Give them a pass. You got to give them a pass. Why? Because this is binary, folks. This is binary right now. On the one side, we have Republicans who refuse to do anything against Donald Trump, allowing him basically to be a dictator. They're offering zero resistance when normally they should be resisting. Part of their job was to be a check and balance against a tyrannical president. They have abdicated their responsibility 100%. So on the one hand, we have them. On the other hand, we have our elected leaders, Democratic elected leaders, who are willing to fight. They don't have enough power to really make a difference. They can delay. They can do procedural tricks. They can have town halls. They can do all these things. And if there's a town hall, if there's an opportunity for you to show up at a town hall and raise your voice, please do so. Do so. Go to that town hall, ask a question, boo somebody, whatever. Make some noise. Make some fucking noise. Make posters for protest marches. There's going to be protest marches. There's going to be town halls. There's going to be all of this kind of activity between now and a year from now. Can you last that long? Take it one day at a time. Don't even sweat it. But whether you like them or not, that's what we got. That's our crew. That's who we're rolling with until 2026 and beyond. Right? These guys, these men and women. So support them. Understand that they are going to be attacked by people on the right. Do not add your voice to their cause unless, of course, they deserve it. Unless they, because like I said, our people aren't perfect. If one of them turns out to be a George Santos, by all means, roll his ass under the bus. But what am I saying? I'm saying it is time to stand up and fight. And that means not just our elected officials. It means all of us. All of us. Don't be afraid. This is our country. I love it. I know you guys do because you're here with me. So it is time. It is time to make your voice heard. And it's not just about quietly writing a letter to your senator, to your member of Congress. It's all about making noise, letting people know shit is upside down. If you got a flag, turn that shit upside down. I think that's the international sign of distress or something. All right, so guys, that is what I have for you today. This has been a strange week. Aside from being sick, the laptop that I usually use to put my show together locked up on me last night. When I say locked up, it asked me for a recovery key that I no longer have. I don't even know where the hell that recovery key is or was. It's an old laptop. It's about 5 years old. So all of this stuff, all of the creative files, the graphics and everything is locked up on that laptop. So basically I had to put together my slides today from scratch. It's neither here nor there, but so we don't have a dumbest Trump comment for the week. That feature will return next week. But do you have any questions for me? I got time for this many questions. A recovery key. That's a good question. I don't really know. Apparently when I bought that laptop 5 years ago and I was booting it up and clicking okay, English and blah, blah, blah. At one point it said, here is a 48 character recovery key. Print this out and put it somewhere safe because at some point in the next 5 to 10 years, we are going to ask you to produce it. Nonsense. Yeah. So whatever it is, I don't have it. And Mrs. Mia, sick of the BS, is glad she caught it live. I'm glad you caught it too, my friend. Thank you. What was my bottom? Yeah, my bottom was selling my kids' toys. That was easily the bottom. That was, you know, my kids are beautiful. They're beautiful, and I'm very proud of them, and I love them so much. And as dad, it's my job to provide for them, to protect them, to make them feel happy, and I let that thing come between us. I let it, dictate my behavior, and I don't beat myself up over it anymore because I did that plenty for a long time. But yeah, that was definitely my bottom. My bottom is, my least proud moment. One of the moments that I'm most ashamed of from my years of addiction. So, and let me just say, the weekend that I finally made the decision, it was a blackout. It was the blackout of 2003, and it was August, obviously, and it was super hot. And when all the power went out, that was kind of like, I don't want to say it was an act of God, but it forced me to have to be present, to have to be an adult, to be to be accountable and responsible. Like, I couldn't be on my stupid mission for drugs. I had kids I had to take care of. And I had to, figure out how to keep them cool, and how to, so for the days that followed, I didn't use any drugs. And then I was like, holy shit, this is what I was supposed to be doing the whole time. And I called my sister who lived in California, and I was like, I need your help. I want to go into a drug treatment rehab, but there's a dealer I owe money to. So she wired me with the money. This dealer's name was Cutter. His name was Cutter. Why would you borrow money? Why would you have a tab with a dealer named Cutter? And so I paid him the money that I owed, so that way, I didn't owe anybody else. I could feel secure in going to get myself some help. And then I called the facility, and I was desperate. And I said, look, the trains aren't running, but I will, walk across the Brooklyn Bridge and come up to you. That it was a facility up in Harlem, New York. And they're like, no, we'll have a bed for you on Monday. Be here. And the rest was history. So thank you for that question. That's a good one. Simon Metcalf saw me on Brian Shapiro's podcast. Brian Shapiro, wow, that dude is really sharp. He's a great host. He's very, very smart. And I love watching him get into it with some of the callers. Zelda was asking me if I could do that on this show, and I just have to figure out. I thought that's a great idea. I have to figure out how I can get callers the way he gets callers to come in, so that you guys can hear the back and forth. I have to figure out how that works. Perfect answer. Recovery key is something you will never use until the absolute one time that you do. Good one. Excuse me. Jen Staley, tonight is movie night. What you watching? And get well soon. Take probiotics and elderberry. Elderberry. I wouldn't know what an elderberry was if it slapped me upside the head. I don't even know what I'm watching tonight. I have no clue. There's a horror movie I've been wanting to watch. It's called, I think, Until Dawn. Haven't been able to get into it yet. And there's another one, A Woman in the Yard. I do like horror movies. I'm still looking for the one to really knock my socks off. A lot of people have been talking about this one called Weapons. It features kids running like airplanes. I want to see that one. That one looks good. But that's in the theaters right now. Okay, last one here from Noel Chilmonic. Wants to know, do you think so many Republicans are capitulating to Trump because they are on the list? No, I don't. I think so many Republicans are capitulating to Trump because they are followers, because they are scared. They are afraid of his attacks. They are afraid that if they take a stand against him, they will be left off the gravy train. So as long as they ride with Trump, they will not be primaried. And the chances are, if they are in a gerrymandered safe district, there's a good chance that they will easily win their reelection and they won't have to work hard, and they will continue to live off the government tit. You know, they make $174,000 a year, and they get a great what's that called? Medical health insurance, best health insurance money can buy. And they get stock tips and all that. We know. Both sides do it, Republicans and Democrats. And they do need to pass that bill. I don't know if they passed it yet. There's a bill, I think it's called the Nancy Pelosi bill, ironically. They need to pass that bill, excuse me, to ensure that that elected officials do not use their insider knowledge to benefit themselves financially in the stock market. So that's my answer. I think it's a good possibility that what I think about the Epstein list, I do believe there is an Epstein list. I absolutely do believe there is a list of people who did nasty things with the help of Jeffrey Epstein. And I think they are very powerful people that Donald Trump does not want to cross. If you see the fear in Kash Patel's eyes and Don Bongino's eyes, they had all that rah, 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 beating their chest energy, put your big boy pants on, blah, blah, blah. And then next thing you know, they looked at the Epstein files and they were like, there's nothing to see. This literally, I'm doing a spot on impersonation of Kash Patel. I just can't do the eyes thing. There's nothing to see. Nope, nothing in the Epstein files. And there's no reason to release them. Like, terrified. Those dudes are terrified. Pam Bondi went from the thing is on my desk and I'm going to examine it to there is no list. So, yeah, there's very rich and powerful people that are being protected, actively being protected right now. Don't know if we'll ever find out who they are, but we got to keep pressing. Keep pressing. All right, folks, thank you so much and yes, Joanne, my kids did save me. Thank you for that. My kids are beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me for this special episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad. folks, we are in this together. Remember, so fear not. We are gonna get through this, one day at a time. The way I got to the way, God willing, I will reach my 22 years. So anyway, I look forward to seeing you guys here, same time, same place. I love you all. Peace.